Urban City Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Breakfast at Jabot's. Man, how y'all doing out there? Listen, we are on urbancitypodcast.com where you can check out Breakfast at Jabot's and a whole lot of other cool content on urbancitypodcast.com. Man, look, today we got a special guest in the building, and we're going to be talking to him. Big Swoll, formerly of No Limit, used to be a wrestler with the AWA, WCW, and a whole lot more in the WWF, I do believe. But we're going to get into it with him. But before we do that, we're going to start off, man, with our sponsors. And this show is powered by United States Real Estate Investor.com. Looking to sell, buy, or even buy a new, a rental property, or a property that you just want to clean up and build. United States Real Estate Investing.com can put you on the right pathway. They have so many people that are talking about that stuff on their platform, and so many ways that you can obtain a new house, sell your house, or even buy a rental property or something like that. All right. Also, we're powered by The Herbal Blessing. Look, it's breakfast at Jabot's. And of course, if you eating a heavy breakfast, man, all you got to do is go to theherbalblessing.com, and they got the Poop No Mo pills. They got those pills, or you can get what they call the red top. And if you don't like taking pills, you can take that red top. It's a liquid form. It'll go through you just like that. Trust me, I know. I call those pills the number 6s, by the way. Shout out to those people at The Herbal Blessing. And that's theherbalblessing.com. All right. Check that out. And of course, winter and fall is coming up. So if you need some sea moss, of course, they got that and a whole lot of other things that will get you on your health journey and get you back to where you need to be. And they also got those backbreaker pills for the men. So, yeah, man. Look, Big Swoll. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. The Herbal Blessing has all of this stuff. Yeah, I haven't had to get the backbreaker yet, but you know, when that time comes, I'm gonna get it, man. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing blessed, man. God is good. I'm just out here, trying to make things happen, and just trying to save one life at a time, man, in my world.
Yeah, man, because we got to talk about your health journey, your tenure over at No Limit, your tenure in the wrestling, profession, and all of that, man. We got a lot to talk about. How you doing this morning, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. God is good, and I hope He bless you and your family and your listeners.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Now, it's crazy how I met him, because we know some of the same people. And I reached out to you once or twice on Instagram, and I was telling you my story. Huh?
TikTok.
Oh, it's TikTok. Yeah. I was reaching out to you on TikTok, and I was like, look, man, I'm trying to get you on, man, to talk about your story, blah, blah, blah. And that was last year, and you finally gave me a call. And I was like, what's this 504 number calling? And it was you. and so here we are, man. I appreciate you coming to Breakfast at Jabot's. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Tell everybody who you are and what you are, what you've been doing, and we're going to get into it, man. Just give them a little 411 on you.
Well, my name is Randy Thornton, but around the world, everybody knows me as Big Swoll, the No Limit Soldier. I'm from New Orleans, and I'm a retired professional NFL football player. I'm a retired professional wrestler. A lot of people know me, and I became famous being part of No Limit Records with Master P. And right now, I'm a healthcare advocate. Just trying to save the world. With my I want to say information of the world, and just trying to make this world a better place.
Right. Let's talk about okay. So you started your wrestling career. No, and you're from New Orleans. Let's be clear about that.
Right.
Ain't nothing like the music, the bounce music, the second lines, the food. Everything is great, right? So you're from New Orleans. Tell us how you got into wrestling, because I was just telling you before we started. I remember the AWA. It was American Wrestling Association, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember a guy called Big Cat on the Lad.
Nah,
And,
I remember like the Midnight Rockers and the Super Ninja and all of those people. And
well,
what was the father and son duo? What was their name?
I could think of the Armstrongs or the Hennings. You know,
I think it was the
it's
Armstrongs. Yeah, yeah.
so but one of the most villainous guys ever in professional wrestling by game of Big Cat Ernie Ladd, and he's also a professional football player. And when I
Right.
was at the University of Houston, he always told me, he said, "Hey, man, you ever want to get in wrestling, contact him." So I was playing Canadian football, and I wanted to do some wrestling. And he sent me to school in Minnesota, and I was trained by a guy by the name of Brad Riggins. People might not know, but Brad Riggins, he trained the Steiner brothers, Kurt Hennings. He trained Big Van Vader, uh, Rock Lesnar, the Nasty Boys. He trained so many, great people, out of Minnesota.
Right.
And so that's how I got into wrestling. I was playing Canadian football, and I just was bored in the summertime. So that's how I got into wrestling, and I moved to Minnesota. And my very first job was working in the AWA, and then I started working in New Japan. I lived in Japan. I worked over there, and I trained over there, and I had to come back and go back to football camp. And so, my career, I don't have a great career in wrestling because once I got into the industry, it was something that I didn't like. I didn't like the people. I didn't like the racism. And I tell people,
Right.
and I must excuse my language, fuck Hulk Hogan, fuck Ric Flair, Andre the Giant. I don't like none of them bastards. They're racist.
Did you ever get a chance to meet or wrestle those guys or tag team or anything?
I never wrestled with them, but we worked in the same industry.
Oh,
So, we worked the same card, but, Hulk Hogan, a lot of African Americans, especially wrestlers, we didn't like him. He was very arrogant, very racist. And just like I see all these rappers are now doing all these videos and stuff with Ric Flair. And now all of a sudden, Ric Flair like black people, So, I mean, and it's like Andre the Giant. I just did a podcast in Japan where I told the people I didn't like Andre the Giant because he was a racist. In that, Andre the Giant was a big, fat, nasty, stinking individual. Never took a shower, never brushed his teeth.
are you serious right now?
Yeah, man, I'm dead serious. Andre the Giant never brushed his teeth. He always stinked. And I see these people idolizing these people, especially African Americans. We are willing to idolize anybody that society has put in front of us, and we just don't know. If you tell people the truth, they get mad at you, and stuff like that, which I really don't care because nobody gonna beat me up anyway. So I just tell the truth. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So I look at it I didn't like the wrestling industry. It was a lot of drugs. If you look at the old wrestlers right now, these guys in their 60s and their 70s, they look terrible. They can't walk, they can't sit, they got drug problems. They've been married 6, 7 times. I mean, people understand the wrestling industry is not what everybody think it is.
Right. How big and tall and weight size do you have to be in the wrestling and the football? Like what's your peak time? What was your height and weight and all of that?
I was 6'6", 330 with 5% body fat. I was benching 600, squatting 800, eating like a dog, And but because my whole gimmick has always been big swole, so I had to look swole.
Right.
I had to be big. Even when I was with No Limit, the big swole gimmick. Because everybody would talk about the big old black dude with Master P all the time. Big swole. And it's kind of an honor because everywhere you go, because I'm the original Big Swoll.
Okay.
I'm the original. I've been calling myself Big Swoll since 1972.
Okay.
I was in the 6th grade,
Okay.
So,
All right.
so it's the name been with me for a long time, and everywhere I go, there, no matter you go to a gym, a football team, school, somebody named Big Swoll,
Right.
and
I know at
especially
least two. I know two more right now. I
yeah,
can't make that up. Yeah.
yeah. So and it's to me it's an honor, and if anybody want to call yourself Big Swoll, call yourself Big Swoll. I don't care. You don't make
Okay.
me a difference.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. So now now you talk about the wrestling. And by the way, you and I know a mutual wrestler. I see him all the time
Mhm.
when I'm moving around in Jackson, Mississippi, or in the Mississippi area. Poke Chop Cash, because you
One
and
of
I
my,
mentioned to him. Yeah.
one of the best.
Mm.
One of the best.
And you talking about an 80, I think Poke Chop might be 83, maybe 85 years old, man. And I got to tell you, for his age, he works out in the gym on a daily basis. And I see him all the time, man. And, I'm like a gas station pimp. I be pimping outside the gas station, and he's always there. So I just hang out with him sometimes and the group of old heads that are there too. So, man, big shouts out to Poke Chop Cash, and man, he's one of your wrestling heroes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
It's one of my
indeed.
wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's get to it, man. Wow. You ready for this, bro? You
Let's
ready?
go.
Let's
Yeah.
go. All right. Look, all right. What piqued my interest to want to talk to you is because you started telling, your stories about being in No Limit. And I initially, there were so many people
Mhm.
on No Limit Records, and I know Fiend. I know him. I know him well. He's been to my studios a couple of times. I've hung out with him in New Orleans a few times too. And and I started seeing you on TikTok talk about your No Limit stories, and then it got kind of serious. And I was like, well, I got to talk to this guy. How did you meet Master P? Did you already know him before the No Limit days, or how did that all work out?
Well, we went to the University of Houston together.
Okay.
And so that's he played, we have mutual friends, I should say, because some guys he went to high school with personal friends of mine. And I know, everybody know V90, we call Versi Carter, and his brother and Big Ed. So we all went to University of Houston together. And that's where Master P tried to walk on as a basketball player. So I knew him from that. But me and his wife, we went to high school together, Sonia C. So
Okay.
I have a better relationship with Sonia C than I did with P, because I've been knowing Sonia since she was 13 years old, in middle school. So, but P was one of the people. I hear all these great stories how great of a basketball player he was in high school and college, and that's some news to me. I mean,
can you elaborate on that a little bit, bro?
I mean, people say he was All-American, and and that he received a scholarship to the University of Houston, and it's just not true.
Oh,
It's not. I won $1,000 bet the other day with somebody that told me that Master P was All-American at University of Houston. I say, man, I give you $1,000. You can show me a picture. Show me a picture of him in the game wearing a uniform, and you're not gonna find it. And no, he was not All-American in high school. He was not McDonald All-American. And he tells people that he went to Booker T. Washington. No, he graduated from Warren Easton. He did not graduate from Booker T. And there's just so much stuff. Just like people say, oh, he played in the NBA. No, he tried out for the NBA.
Yeah, I think I remember him trying out for the Raptors. I want to say it was.
The Hornets. No,
okay, I don't remember the Hornets, but I do remember the Raptors.
No, but he tells everybody that he made the team. No, he didn't. No, he played preseason. You know, but like I said, his fans will cuss you out because they say you lying. Well, research. You know, research Randy Thornton, University of Houston. You're gonna see videos and pictures of me. Research Randy Thornton, Denver Bronco. You're gonna see pictures of me. Research Randy Thornton, WCW. You're gonna see pictures. So if it's look, these brothers out here live in the fantasy world, and these fans are so gullible to believe anything they're saying. Somebody told me, "Oh man, you a hater. You're not hating when you tell the truth. When you tell the truth, it's not hating." So I listen to these people, and the story that he tells that he was in California and he played Michael Jordan 1-on-1, and he's telling people that he beat Michael Jordan, 1-on-1. And I'm like, nigga, please.
Do you think that hip hop and wrestling could be comparable to each other? Because isn't wrestling somewhat fake or entertaining, just like hip hop is? I mean, like the street cred and this, that, and the other. I mean, do you think it's comparable to each other?
Well,
they are.
Majority of wrestlers are liars.
Okay.
They lie how big they are. They lie how tall they are. They lie about their background. And it's just a make-believe world. I've had people get mad at me because I tell them wrestling is fake. Oh, you know what you're talking. Hey man, go watch the videos. It's entertainment. It's not a sport. It's entertainment. And you got some people, like I said, they'll believe anything. You can go ahead and tell some of these fans, put shit on your face, it'll make you a stronger person. And they're gonna start putting shit on their face because they believe anything.
Wow.
It's just what it is. But a lot of, I say 85% of your rappers are liars. 85% of your wrestlers are liars.
Wow. It's Breakfast at Jabot's on the Urban City Podcast Network, man. We've got Randy Thornton, a.k.a. Big Swoll, formerly of No Limit, in the building. I am Gerald Jabot, and of course, man, we are into it. We're talking about the No Limit days with Big Swoll. And, okay, so I that was a side note. I had to get to that. But you were talking about the basketball careers and how he said he beat Michael Jordan. Now, did he ever play Michael Jordan?
He played him in a pickup game, but this is a shoot around. I was there at UCLA when it happened. I was there, and it was just some people, just shoot around. It wasn't that's. You got to think. You ask anybody to know Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of the most competitive people that ever played basketball.
Right.
Michael Jordan ain't gonna let his own son beat him in a basketball game. They were just shooting around. It was just, we was at UCLA, and Kobe Bryant was there. A whole bunch of players. They were just shooting around. It wasn't no game or anything like that. But my thing is this: each his own. I mean, if you want to tell the world that you was a basketball player and that you played professional basketball, okay, tell them. Okay, all right.
Okay, so let's go back to No Limit. How did No Limit get started? Was it you, Master P, and Sonya C, or was it Master P, C Murder, Silk the Shocker? How did that happen, or were you around when all of that happened?
I wasn't around when it happened. It was a lot of people don't know that Sonya C was the very first artist at No Limit Records. Do your research, people. It was the very first CD ever put out by Master P, No Limit Soldiers, was called Married to the Mob by Sonya C. And so it was Sonya, V90, and P, and a guy by the name of King George and Big Ed the Assassin. Those were the original TRUs. And the name No Limit comes from P came up with the idea, but the No Limit Soldier thing came about by King George. You do your research. King George was the very first No Limit Soldier. Master P calls himself Master P, the Down South Hustler. He was never known as the No Limit Soldier in its beginning. King
I
George.
think I remember that. I want to say I remember that on a CD or something where you had the cell phone and am I right? Am I hitting the ballpark? Yeah, I do.
No. King George is the very first person to use the term No Limit Soldier in TRU. So but Master P called himself the Down South Hustler back then. And just like the camouflage, if you look at his early CDs, he never wore camouflage. He didn't wear camouflage until Soldier Slim came. Soldier Slim brought the camouflage to No Limit Records.
Interesting. We're okay. There's a lot going on with this because this is a deep dive right here. How did you merge and link up with P? Like I already know you said you knew Sonia C. How did you come aboard?
Well, I joined No Limit as his personal trainer. Master P had what they call No Limit Sports, and they had Ricky Williams and all them, and I did all their fitness training.
Okay.
But P knew I had background in martial arts and boxing, so then it's like he said, "Man, look, you coming with me." So he started using me as his bodyguard, and plus I went to school for executive protection in Colorado, so he started using me as his bodyguard, and we went everywhere together, and that's how I joined No Limit. But the very first employee at No Limit was Percy Carter, V90. So if anybody would know anything about No Limit, V90 is the person that could tell you everything because he was there in the beginning. I wasn't there in the beginning. And but being at when people hear me talk, look, man, we had some great memories at No Limit.
Right.
We did. I was telling somebody today, I knew Beyonce before she was Beyonce.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that Master P gave Beyonce her first break when she did a song with Silk the Shocker. I think this to be straight with me. The very first video Destiny Child ever did was with No Limit Records. Master P made Beyonce and them famous.
Wow. Yeah, man, y'all had a good run. Y'all had a really good run because in the past, I've seen I've seen Snoop Dogg on other podcasts talk about No Limit was getting money. Y'all was doing it. Yeah. How in fact were y'all getting money? Because you always hear artists when the death rows, they say they weren't making no money and this, that, and the other. And Bad Boy, they probably weren't making no money like y'all was. But I heard Snoop saying everybody was getting money.
Everybody was making money at No Limit.
What separated you guys from the rest of them?
Well, back then, we were family. I'm talking about the janitors, the Beat by the Pound, the artists, the bodyguards. We were family. We were very tight knit, and and P made sure that everybody had cars, houses, and money. Once No Limit stopped blowing up real big, you can see things started changing.
Right.
Things started changing. I tell people all the time, I think the changing point in No Limit is when Cain and Abel went to jail, then Mac went to jail. And I think that was the turning point in the downfall of No Limit Records because everything just changed after that.
Why do you think it changed? Like, was the money growing and was egos in the way, or because at one time Mystical was like the hottest thing on No Limit. I mean, he was hot.
Yeah, but Mystical was also with Jive Records. There was two companies running Mystical. Jive Records and No Limit Records. No,
Right.
let me say something, and a lot of people don't realize this. 90% of the artists at No Limit was at No Limit for one person and one person only. You know who that person was?
Tell me.
KL, Beat by the Pound.
KLC, yeah.
Yeah. KL, everybody was there because before No Limit, KL worked with Soulja Slim, Fiend, Mac, Mystical, Mia X. A lot of those artists was just there because of KL and Beat by the Pound. You know, a lot of people think those artists are there for P. They wasn't there for P. They were there for KL. KL was the shit. You know, he the one who came up with Make 'Em Say and Bout It and all these beats and stuff like that. And like I said, all these guys, they was working with KL before the No Limit Records. And, and that's how a lot of those artists came to No Limit because of KL.
So would you say that the artists never really messed with Master P? Because if it would seem that they did if everybody was getting money, like you say, right?
Well, look,
I don't want to confuse anybody. You know, I'm asking. Yeah.
You got to remember, he ran the company. He's the CEO. Not a lot of people deal with the CEOs,
right?
You know, because he was always, he was always making things happen. He was always traveling. He was always discovering stuff, and P had a great team around him, and I think one of his greatest assets that he had. You ever seen a little red dude always in the video with P? They call him Boz.
I remember the white guy Firecracker. I probably don't remember this guy. Yeah.
No, Boz, if you look at any No Limit movies, videos, you see a little red guy with an afro. His name is Anthony Boswell. They call him Boz. Okay. And that was Master P right-hand man. And P surrounds himself with a lot of great people.
Right.
And but nobody treated him special,
Okay.
No,
okay.
He
was just around the way homie, right?
Yeah, I think that the artists and people at No Limit gravitated more to C Murder than Master P.
Okay.
Because C Murder is the nicest guy I've met in my life. I mean, C Murder will give you the clothes. I've seen C Murder walk in the Calio project and go to the office and pay the whole project rent.
Really?
Yes. I've seen it personally. That's the kind of person he was,
Wow.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen C walk through the Calio project and give everybody $100 bills. He wasn't scared of nobody. He feared nobody, Well, Master P and C Murder, they got the same mom and the same daddy, but they don't act alike.
Wow.
C Murder was more of a street hustler than P was, but their brother Kevin was the real street hustler. Their brother Kevin, who was murdered, him and their little cousin named Hot Boy Jimmy.
Okay.
And they were the drug dealers in the family, those two. And yeah. Do you know what a narcissist is?
I do very well.
P's a narcissist.
Wow.
Big time.
Is that a strong narcissist or like a weak ass narcissist?
No, a strong narcissist he believes in howling and screaming and cussing people out, and he believes in if something happens, he blames everybody else, And like I said, when we first was in No Limit, man, we had great times, man. And then everything just started changing. It's like the more popular, people was becoming, the more it was changing, and everybody, a lot of people don't know about me and Master P's situation because we fell out. We fell out real bad, and
Mm.
we haven't spoken in 20-something years.
Wow.
You know, and I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to be in his company. I don't want to do no business with him or anything. And I've told when I see my former, like we still see each other in the streets and stuff, and me and a former No Limit Soldiers, we have a great relationship.
So you're still cool with the Mia X's, the
Oh yes,
Fiends,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Cain and
yes,
Abel and Sons of
yes.
Funk and Beats by the Pound and all these people.
All of them. We have, when somebody lose a family member, we show up to the funeral and we see each other in the street. I just seen Mac a few days ago in a supermarket. Me and Mac was talking. I talked to him, we were talking about Mia X with the Essence situation and stuff
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I was gonna segue
Right.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still family. Um, someone asked me what happened to the No Limit Soldiers at WCW. And people, I know I'm gonna make a lot of people mad, but I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
Okay.
Master P abandoned us at WCW, and he abandoned us because me and him got into an argument.
So wait a minute, you guys were supposed to perform at the WCW, right?
No, we was performing and touring and everything. We was headlining, and we did what they call Bass at the Beach, which is WrestleMania, and P didn't show up, for the taping. He didn't show up because him and I got into a very heavy argument, and let me explain something to you, my brother. I want you to listen to me what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
I've had people tell me, "Oh man, you wasn't loyal to Master P or the No Limit Soldiers." Number one, I'm not a dog. Okay, I'm loyal to my family.
Right.
I'm not loyal to no fucking No Limit. I ain't loyal to no Master P. None of them motherfuckers. I'm loyal to my family. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I'm not putting no record label or no nigga in front of my wife and my daughters. It ain't happening. Because number one, when people say, "Oh, you're not loyal," I'm not a fucking dog. I'm a man. And people got to realize before I joined No Limit, I was already making money in NFL. So making money wasn't new to me, And when somebody say, "Oh man, you're not loyal," no, I'm not loyal to no motherfucking body. I'm loyal to the Thorntons, I'm loyal to my daughters and that's what I'm loyal to. And I get tired of people telling me, "Oh man, he did everything for y'all, blah 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 blah." Yeah, it was a job. It's a job.
There you go. Yeah.
It's sad, it's sad the way things happen because, he
Say it, brother. Say it. The audience wants to know.
He's a narcissist.
Okay.
I mean, major. Have you ever met some? Okay, I'm gonna give you a great description. Have you ever met somebody that does something for you, and they remind you every time that they've done something for you?
Well,
and they dingle.
Not me particularly, but I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they dingle it over your head, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you and your audience this. A lot of people say, "Oh man, you mad at Master P." I'm not mad at him. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, because
we were friends.
The tone would seem like you mad at him,
Yeah.
Or
No.
Why? Okay, yeah. So keep going. Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm disappointed,
right?
Because the run that we had at WCW, these people had us booked in Japan. We were supposed to go tour in Japan, and they had all this stuff lined up. And P got mad at me and stopped showing up, to the wrestling match. That's the truth, He stopped showing up, and he cost my family millions of dollars. You If you ever look at the No Limit storyline, we were headlining, and then one day we just disappeared.
Mm.
And people always say, "What happened? What happened to the No Limits?" And then, I started doing stuff with Brett Armstrong. I did some stuff with um, Dennis Rodman and stuff like that. But
Okay.
he cost my family millions. And when you fuck with my family, I don't fuck with the niggas like that. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
Because
respect.
I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. You fuck with my money. Okay? And these people had us. I'm the reason why we got in WCW. I made the phone call. Stop listening to these motherfuckers lying to y'all, telling y'all, oh, WCW called me. No, they didn't. I called WCW. And that's how we got into WCW. I made the phone call. I contact Brad Riggins. Brad Riggins contact Kurt Hennig. Kurt Hennig contact WCW. WCW contact me. I'm the one flew to Atlanta and negotiate all those contracts and got P that big contract and had to listen to that fucked up ass song that I hate to this day. That fucking hootie hoo bullshit. I didn't want that fucking I didn't want that song as my fucking interest song any goddamn way. But I'm the one that did all that. But you listen to these people lie. Oh, WCW called me and they wanted me. No, that's not true. I called Brad Riggins. Brad Riggins called Kurt Hennig. Kurt Hennig called WCW. And I'm the one flew up there and I met with Dusty Rhodes. I met with Macho Man Randy Savage, Kevin Nash, and Eric Big Show. I'm the one that did that.
Do you think well, can any of these people that you name, I mean, a few of them aren't around, but they could also vouch for this as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, hey, yeah. Now let me ask you this. Why do you think Mia X just came out and said, I'm not performing with Master P for the Essence Fest? Because to me, Essence is home for you guys who are from New Orleans, and that's big. That's huge. And she said no, or how did that happen?
No. Mia X sent a personal message to Master P, told him, don't make me flip this fucking table over. That's the message she sent to P. The situation was, and Essence gave Master P like $80,000 to give to Mia X because she was a headliner. She's a performer.
Okay.
P only wanted to give her like 30, 40,000. And when Mia X found out about that, she went off. And let me tell y'all something. When this happened, this is going to be the downfall of No Limit. I'm going to tell you why. When Master P did Essence, nobody showed up because everybody was backing Mia X. Silk wasn't there. None of Mac wasn't there. Nobody showed up for that shit because he messed over Mia. And I think what hurt Mia most is that she couldn't believe that he did it to her.
Wow. I just always thought she was one of the ones that always had a better relationship. I mean, just on the outside looking in.
Well, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna tell you, boy, she cursed. I'm telling you, from somebody who I know that was there, she cuts P out like a motherfucker on the phone. You hear me?
Damn.
I'm talking about Mia ain't scared of nobody.
Right.
And she went into his ass and she told him, don't make me turn this motherfucking table over. Let me tell you something right now, black man. There's some stuff at No Limit that I know that I would never tell a world because we family. And my time at No Limit, will always be, because I'm known as Big Swoll, the No Limit Soldier. Okay.
Right.
I mean, Randy Thornton, football player, ain't worth shit. But around the world, Big Swoll from No Limit, I still carry that name. Right. And like I said, we have, and his. What do you
take your time, bro? Take your time.
What do you call a man that turned his kids against their mother.
Mm. Are you referring to like the reality show or that Master P had at a time, or
The man told the world that his wife was a crackhead. Okay, he made his children sign a waiver on his reality show that they didn't want to live with their mother. Now you got to remember, this woman gave him 8 kids. 8 kids. Now,
wow.
when his daughter died, little Romeo came out and said, I found out who the true gangster in our family was. You know what he said?
What?
My mother. He said, I found out my mother was a true gangster in this family. And people, I'm not going to get into people with this, but the things that he put that woman through, she self-medicated herself. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's how some people that's how she dealt with it, you know. And a real man, a nigga like you and me, I'm gonna take my queen by the hand and say, look, we're gonna get some help. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Look, you got a drug problem. Come on, we going to rehab. I'm not gonna go on the Wendy Williams show and call my wife a crackhead, you know, and all this kind of stuff. You know, my message to P: tell the people the truth why your wife turned to drugs. Tell them the truth. You know, tell your fans what you did to your wife to make her start using those drugs.
Wow,
You know
man.
You know,
that's deep.
Tell them the truth. You know, stop making it seem like, you know, fuck. If you listen to his earlier records, he liked a gangster bitch that used drugs and shit like that. So,
right.
So what's the deal now?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Song You See is the nicest woman that you ever want to meet. He gave a nigga 8 children. And for you to go and turn your kids against their mother, ain't no fucking man to me. And I don't give a fuck what his fans say. Oh, she's a crackhead. She this and she that. She this and she that. Y'all don't know the story.
What would you say to, speaking of that, like when this airs, what would you say to anybody that has a negative comment coming out? Like, what would you like? I know you don't have to say anything, but you know, all the negativity, because there's going to be some backlash. What would you say to that?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. People are gonna talk negative about me, and I got a personal message for them. Fuck you. I'm fishing now.
Yeah.
I'm a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
Step to me on the street, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna bust your fucking head wide open. You know, everybody know in New Orleans. I don't walk around New Orleans with no bodyguards, but I'm telling you all the time, I'm strapped 24/7. When I go to the gym, I'm strapped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me tell you something about me. I've been doing martial arts, boxing, and archery with guns and shit since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't walk around here. Look, I've never been a drug dealer. I'm not gonna portray a drug dealer. That wasn't my life. I didn't have to. I was an athlete. But I'm gonna tell you something about me. I can throw some hands. I can fight. If there's anything that if you ask anybody from No Limit, they're gonna tell you, oh, Big Swoll can fight. You know, and for people
take them down through there, huh?
Yeah. If you know, if you want to believe, you know, just like I was in a barbershop, and this guy told me, he said, man, why you hate Pete so much? I said, because he lies a lot. He said, man, what you mean? I said, he lies a lot. He said, man, Pete don't lie. I said, my brother, who owns Rap Snap? Master P owns Rap Snap. He owns that. I said, no, he doesn't. I said, grab your phone and I want you to punch up who owns Rap Snap. Dude got his phone, looked it up, and he was like, who's James Lacey? I said, that's the nigga that owns Rap Snap.
I had an opportunity to meet Mr. James. Man, it could have been 20 plus years ago, maybe 01. when I met him, when he was first starting
Yeah.
Rap Snacks. Yeah.
He owns Rap Snacks. Pete doesn't own Rap Snacks. He doesn't.
How do you think people will react to you saying that right now, like right here where it is? Yeah.
Google it.
I know different. I know better,
What you gotta do is Google who owns Rap Snacks. And you're gonna see who owns Rap Snacks. Pete's just an investor.
Yeah.
Rap Snap wasn't his idea, and the reason why Rap Snap became popular because Romeo was Rap Snap very first bag. And that's how No Limit got into Rap Snap. But he doesn't own that. He doesn't. But again, for the people that say I'm a hater, grab your phone and look up who owns Rap Snap. And that's going to tell you, and you're going to see who's lying. I mean, a lot of people know that I'm real big into health and fitness, and I'm an advocate for health issues, but I'm also real big when it comes to finance because I do a lot of seminars and stuff about finance.
Yes, sir.
When you see these rappers and they doing these seminars where they're teaching people how to become rich and generational wealth, that is so much bullshit. It's whack. I'm gonna tell you why. Give me a minute. I'm gonna tell you why it's whack. A lot of these people go and they hear these people talk about, how they made their millions and how they did this and how they did that, get your product, and all that kind of stuff. But they leave the most common things out. It's like when I talk to people and they want to start a business. The first thing I tell them is when you start a business, get you what they call interruption insurance. Okay? Interruption insurance. You get that just in case something happened like a flood or a fire or something. Your business will be protected and your insurance company will pay you. A lot of people don't know that generational wealth has to go through life insurance policies.
It does indeed. Yeah.
Teach these people about the Rockefeller waterfall method, where you can get a life insurance. A lot of Black people don't know that you get a life insurance policy and you can borrow from your life insurance policy. White folks don't go to banks; they borrow from their life insurance policies. I listen to these people. They want you to buy their tennis shoes. They want you to buy their shoes. They want you to come to their seminars and pay $400-500. I could teach them people the same thing for free. Yeah. And someone asked me, who is my mentor and who do I follow? And I follow one person. And oh my God. Brian, you know who Brian Allen is, right? The comedian.
Yeah, I know Byron. Yeah, Byron Allen. Yeah, who owns I can't call the network right now, but yeah.
A lot of people don't know that dude's a self-made billionaire.
Yeah,
and
he is.
A lot of people don't know this brother owns the Weather Channel.
Yeah, he does. I remember when he bought it.
And he owns Allen Productions. He does all those judge shows, with Judge Maybelline and Judge Mathis and all these judge shows. But he also owns his own studio. Byron Allen he's a self-made. He's a self-made. This dude has more money than Master P, Jay-Z, Puffy, all these dudes. And people just don't know Byron Allen is a self-made billionaire. Not billionaire, billionaire. A lot of Black people don't know that every time something happens with the weather or you watching your TV, that's a Black company. That's a Black-owned company.
Yeah, because he's got the network as well.
Yes.
I can't call that network, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Yeah.
Right,
okay. How is your relationship with Snoop Dogg and the Snoop is Snoop still like? Does he have a great relationship with P, or do you know or not?
Snoop is so loyal to Master P because Master P basically brought Snoop back to life.
Okay.
When we signed Snoop had nothing. No car, no house, no jewelry, because everything was under Death Row name. And so when he came to Baton Rouge and he seen how I never forget. See, Soldier Slim and Snoop were roommates. They still just
Wow.
say, they were roommates. And P used to always tell Soldier Slim, and he used to always tell C Murder, don't bring Snoop Dogg into New Orleans. But what they do, they bring Snoop Dogg to the Magnolia. They bring him to the Calio,
Yeah.
And I never forget one time me and Snoop was driving, because I used to drive him to the studio, and stuff like that. And I never forget Snoop said, man, No Limit, man, y'all got it going on. I said, what you mean? He said, man, watch how y'all work in the studio. He said, man, everybody's in there doing their job. And he said, man, there's no fighting. He said, man, at Death Row, niggas had guns and dogs. And he said, man, y'all totally different. And I never forget, I forgot what song it was that we did. But Snoop came down before we signed him to No Limit. And he was featured on the song. And I think Snoop on the chart like $3,000-$4,000 to do the song. P gave me the check, and I gave it to Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg opened it up, and it was like for $35,000 or $40,000. And he said, Randy, where the colonel at? I said, he's in his office. So Snoop went there and said, hey, man, you overpaid me. I only want like $3,000-$4,000. And P said, no, man, I'm giving you what you work. You're not worth no $3,000-$4,000. You work way more than that. Snoop will always be loyal to Master P, because Master P gave Snoop his second life. Snoop wouldn't be where he at right now if it wasn't for Master P and the No Limit Soldiers. P saved them, and P, I had somebody, very personal friend of mine, that seen Snoop Dogg a couple of months ago, and he said, yeah, man, we have a mutual friend. He said, who? Say Big Swoll. And Snoop said, man, tell Big Swoll I say hi, man. I don't have no beef, with Snoop. I mean, you got to remember, I want you to picture this, okay?
Right. Okay.
Picture this. Now, we go and we in the studio, and KL is playing his beat, dun, 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 and they start saying, fuck the mother nigga because I'm down, So,
yeah.
they're doing the down for your nigga, so we took a break. So we go in my Suburban. It's me, Soldier Slim, Snoop, Mystical, and C Murder. So Snoop is telling us that he had some of that purple that we couldn't handle it. So we start blowing weed in my truck. Boy, we got so fucked up, And I tell people, I had to look around saying, damn, I'm smoking weed with Snoop Dogg. I'm smoking weed with Snoop Dogg in my truck. I'm smoking weed with Soldier Slim, Mystical, C Murder. Boy, look, we got so loaded. It was ridiculous how loaded we got.
Wow, man.
Because that purple was strong. But man, this stuff is man. Let me tell you all this something, man. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, Black man.
Okay.
I mean it, man. One of the joys of my life was being with No Limit. It's sad the way it ended. It really was, and it's really sad now. I talked to Master P Daddy, Big P, like a month ago.
Okay.
And we seen each other on the street, and he hugged me. He said, Randy, he said, man, won't you call my son? And y'all need to put this beef on the side. I told him, no, I'm not. He said, why? I can't forgive a dude that took money out my children's mouth. And I told his daddy, me and your son would never be friends again. Never. Wow. I would never, you'll never see, you'll never see Big Swoll with No Limit. Just like you'll never see Cain and Abel. See, a lot of people don't realize Cain and Abel are doing so good.
Wow.
Those dudes have won awards for doing commercials and all. They have a very successful publishing company, They're doing very well.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
the one thing I don't like. When people hear us talk, the first thing they say, "Oh man, you bitter because P cut you off, and you don't have the money, and you don't have this." Let me tell y'all something. I've been a very successful businessman. I've been in the cattle business. I've been I've been a motivational speaker. I worked for the Department of Education. When I left No Limit, my family has never starved. I live in a big, beautiful home. I have a farm. I have horses. I got cows. I got dogs. I got motorcycles. No, I've never asked no man for anything. Now, he have told people that the reason why I'm mad at him because he wouldn't give me no money. You must got me mixed up with Soldier Slim. I never asked him for do
Well,
no money.
what happened between P and Soldier Slim?
Well, this will have the reason. Well, P and Soldier Slim fed out because I say 80% of the artists at No Limit, none of these guys receive royalties. P gets all their royalty.
Oh.
And Soldier
You
Slim,
talking about the first generation or the second generation of No Limit?
the first generation.
Okay.
Soldier Slim went to do his sophomore record, and his mother was about to lose her house because of taxes. And Soldier Slim went to P for like 10, 15 G's, and P wouldn't give it to him.
Wow.
And that's how they fell out.
Wow.
And I think what I heard was that I think BG and Juvenile gave him the money to pay his mama taxes, but he wouldn't give Soldier. And Soldier Slim kept telling him, "Hey man, my mom about to lose her house. I need this advancement."
Mm.
And
why do you think he was good to Snoop, but maybe not so much to the other artists?
Because Snoop was under contract, the other artists were not under contract.
I see.
Mia X, they're not under contract.
Okay.
Macklemore was under contract. They was there because of a handshake.
Wow.
And
wow.
And I mean, and just like him and Mr. Magic, Mr. Magic fell out with Pete because he wouldn't give him his royalty.
Wow. I remember Magic, man. Rest in peace. Yeah. So there's some deep stories, it seems, with the No Limit, and this is like unheard of because we never got the opportunity to hear, the No Limit story. And segue into my next question: how come No Limit and Cash Money never did like a duo, a collab, or anything, except for the Soldier Slim and the Juvenile Slow Motion? What was that about? Because you guys are in the same city. It only makes sense for a Cash Money, No Limit kind of tour situation. That would have been so crazy.
Well, that happened because Birdman and P don't like each other.
Why is that?
They did one from the Calio, one from the Magnolia. One's a street hustler. One the wannabe basketball player. And if you look at the video with Birdman, and Birdman is telling the truth. We said they asked Birdman, "Hey man, when you was in the street, did you hustle with P?" Birdman said P never hustled in no dope in New Orleans, and he's telling the truth.
Wow.
P played P would want to play basketball. His brother Kevin was a hustler. P wasn't no hustler. And Birdman and Master P is the reason why that didn't happen. But let me tell you this. Soldier Slim was best friends with BG and Juvenile.
Right.
Mac is best friends with BG, Juvenile, and Turk. Mr. Servon and all those guys are friends with all those guys at Cash Money. A lot of people don't know one of Manny Fresh's first artists. You know what his first artist was?
Who?
Mia X.
Oh, wow. He worked with Mia first, huh?
Yeah. Mia X and Manny Fresh are like brothers and sisters. They're best friends. They're from Lafitte Project. They're best friends. You know, the we never. I still remember Lil Wayne when he was 13 years old.
Mm.
You know, at Soul's jury, getting his jury. Man, we never had no problems with them dude. It was P and Birdman had the problem.
Wow.
Not the artist. We never had no problem with each other. Still to this day, you know. One of the biggest songs ever come out of New Orleans is with Soulja Slim and Juvenile, Slow Motion with it.
Oh man, that's classic. That's forever a classic. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
But it's I I used to always say, man, if Cash Money and No Limit would have done a tour at our peaks, we would have sold out.
It would have killed it. Yeah,
it would have killed it. But P don't like nobody outshine him. Seriously, he doesn't like he doesn't like the shed a stage. He doesn't like the. When I see the brother now, nobody in New Orleans really, follows him like everybody think he does.
Yeah.
He's he's telling everybody he's a basketball coach. The basketball coach, it's a position that the mayor of New Orleans gave you at the University of New Orleans. President of player operations, some bullshit ass position that that they made up for him.
Oh, okay.
And, he's not a fucking coach. And but he's going around telling everybody that he owns supermarkets in New Orleans, that he owns Rouse's supermarket. No, he doesn't. Rouse's supermarket is run by the Rouse family. They're white. Yeah. It's just all these lies, and he just lies and lies and lies. And the people believe his lies.
Wow.
And have you ever met someone that lies so much they believe in their own lies? Because they say it so much.
Maybe Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
What? Segueing into that, weren't they on tour, book tour or something a long time ago or something like that? Let me tell you
something, and I mean from the bottom of my heart, Donald Trump and Master P are evilly as far as lying.
Wow, are you serious?
I'm being honest with you. Seriously, wow. Because nobody wants to fact check. Somebody asked me about publishing, the catalog.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that Master P doesn't own his catalogs anymore. He sold his
catalogs.
Priority.
Oh, he sold it back to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had to pay his taxes.
Oh.
He doesn't own it. Why you think when they want to do that movie about the Master P Prince of the South, it never came out yet? Because Priority is not releasing the music.
Wow.
And I just wish people just understand. It's just so much lying. Let me tell you something about me. I'm a man of God.
Yes.
Okay. Every morning I get up at 5 o'clock. I go to church every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I fall on my knees. I pray God and I ask him for wisdom and guidance every morning. I'm the kind of person, I don't lie. I don't like liars. I don't like being around liars. None of that. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth. Now,
right.
If it hurts your feelings, I apologize. I'm in a situation in my life where I'm thanking God every day. People see me, they see the muscles, and they see me working out. And a lot of people don't know I'm on the heart transplant list. I have electric heart. I have electric heart. I have 2 batteries on my hip that keep me alive. And I am so grateful to God that, that I'm here today. Yes, people see my videos and see me working out, but these people don't know that I'm on a heart transplant list. I'm waiting for a new heart. I have what they call an LVAD, And when people, excuse me, when people see
It's
me,
okay.
they say,
Yeah.
when people see me, they say, "Oh, you don't look sick." No, because I'm in the gym. When I get off this interview with you tonight, I'm going to the gym. I'm work, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna work out for 2 hours. I'm working out for 2 hours. I'm going to the gym, and I'm bringing my pistol. You know, I put my pistol on my bag, and I work out.
That's
Okay,
good. That's
you
good
know,
stuff. Yeah.
and I wanna wish Master P all the best in anything he does in the future. Because, like
Good
I
stuff,
told you
man.
earlier, I don't hate the man. I'm hurt, but I don't hate the man.
You're hurt and disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Right.
Very,
Right. Right.
because, like I said, you know, it was, it was some things that he said about me that wasn't true, and um, that's what got me in my rampage with him. You
Mm.
know, some of the things he was saying to mutual friends that just wasn't true. I never asked that brother for no money. Seriously, I've never called him for no money, never asked him for no money, never need him for no money. Like I said, I made millions in the cattle business. I, I own a farm. I got cows and horses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Now, did I take the knowledge and stuff that that he gave me? No, I don't. I don't follow nothing that he's done. Just like I told somebody the other day, because the guy was telling me, "Oh, Master P, one of the smartest men I know, he graduated. He graduated from the University of Houston in 1 month. Bitch, what nigga you know graduate college in fucking 1 month? Y'all niggas believe
Shit.
that bullshit?
I know it took me about 5 or 6 years to come out of Jackson State. Shouts out to Jackson State, by the way.
This dude told people that he graduated from the University of Houston in 1 month, and these stupid ass motherfuckers believe him.
Mm.
And I told the
Mm.
guy, I said, man, if he's so smart, I say, I want you to look up what is the worst NFL contract in the history of NFL. You know what it is?
Mm.
Ricky Williams, rookie contract,
Wow.
negotiated by Purchasing Master P. Miller, No Limit Sports. It's the worst contract ever
Wow. Wow.
in the history of NFL. And y'all say this motherfucker smart?
Man, that is crazy. Look, man, what's next for Big Swoll, man?
Well, I got so much going on. I just hooked up with Harvard University. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing some stuff with them in the NFL. I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for heart disease, sleep apnea. I've been doing sleep apnea programs. I travel all over the world, and I do podcasts and conferences where I try to educate people about the danger of sleep apnea, heart disease, because a lot of people know, just like in Mississippi, the number one killer of African Americans is heart disease and heart failure.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people don't realize that heart disease is the number one killer for women. Heart disease kills more women than breast cancer.
Mm.
And so, I'm out here doing this. I'm about to shoot some commercials for one of the biggest healthcare, hospitals in America. I'm working with some people in South Africa, because in South Africa, in the continent Africa, heart disease is their number one killer. So my thing is, I want to get out there and be an advocate, especially to people in my situation, because I wish somebody would have told me that they like the signs of, when I first had my heart failure, it felt like I had heartburn,
Mm.
I had all the signs, but I didn't know,
Right.
in the last year, I've lost 45 friends because of heart failure,
Wow.
and a lot of professional wrestlers, they died from heart attacks and heart failure. And, and so, I do a lot of podcasts. If you go on my page, I'm always talking about something, because I'm basically, because I'm bored, you know.
Right.
So I'm always doing videos. I'm trying my best to help people, just like with you. when you talk about, let's do this, I'm like, come on, man, let's do it. And you can ask me any questions you want.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I fear no man's, because somebody told me one time, man, Randy, you're not scared? Scared of whom?
Right.
Scared of who? Man, I don't walk in no fear.
None whatsoever. Yeah.
I don't care. Y'all, all this street gangster shit, I don't rock like that.
He's just a grown man. Yeah.
Look, I hunt pigs.
Wild hogs at that.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you think niggas are gangsters? Come out there to Mississippi.
Oh man.
In
Oh my
Brookhaven,
God.
it comes hunt some pigs with me. I'm gonna see what kind of man you really are.
Yeah, because if they get after you, it's ugly. It ain't pretty.
that pig gonna run, tree your ass, and man. But it's just that I want people just to understand. Stop believing these rappers. Stop believing like that stuff with Puffy.
Right.
Man, that's nothing new. That's been going on. That
and it's crazy how people are starting to say that now. You knew it, and I knew stuff goes on quite often. Yeah.
You know what the wildest party I've attended in my life?
What?
I'm talking about drugs, sex, and I had to walk out and leave. You know what it was?
What?
A Whitney Houston party.
Wow.
See, a lot of people don't know. I went to a Whitney Houston party when I was playing for the Giants, and she was living in New Jersey. And I went to a party, and Whitney was there with her girlfriend, Robin. Her girlfriend. And man, there was coke. They was doing everything. And I'm from New Orleans. I'm like, man, hey man, I went to use the bathroom, and man, they was in the tub having sex. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, man, I can't be here.
Right.
This is what I want to tell people. You got to remember this. You talk about Puffy. You talk about Jay-Z. You talk about Jamie Foxx. All these weird stuff in these parties that they have. But everybody, and I'm going to say Barry Manilow, Janis Joplin, Phyllis Hyman, Whitney Houston, what's his name? I can't think of the guy's name, but all these people, I can't. What's the black singer name? Luther Vandross.
Luther. Okay.
All these people I just named fall under one person, and you know who that person is?
Clive.
Yes. Clyde is the master, the blueprint of all these wild, freaky ass parties.
Wow.
Clyde did it. Clyde was doing it in the 60s. That people talking about, a lot of people don't know about Janis Joplin, one of the biggest rock and roll, stars of the time.
Oh yeah.
He turned her out. He turned out Barry Manilow.
Wow.
And come on, we all know about man. Phyllis Hyman was so beautiful and so sexy.
Oh man, she was amazing.
And for that woman to kill herself, talking about she was ugly and commit suicide was just crazy to me.
It's crazy.
But all these people, and I ask people all the time, why Clyde Davis not in jail? Why he's not in jail?
Good question. Yeah. Look, man, we appreciate you for coming in on Breakfast at Jabot's, man. You are welcome to come back anytime you want to, man. Big Swoll, formerly of No Limit, man. Did you have a ball over here at Breakfast at Jabot's? Can we get you something?
Look, man. You know what you can do?
Let us send you something. How about that?
You can do this for me. Let me send a personal message out to somebody.
Go ahead.
You don't mind? Percy, thank you for what you did to me and my family. You made Big Swoll a household name all over the world. And I want to thank you, my brother. I want to thank you for what you did for my career. You made the Big Swoll name go my brother. I get I get stuff from people all over the world, from Japan, China, Russia, about Big Swoll signing autographs and stuff and mailing to them. Thank you, my brother. I want to say thank you. And whatever ventures that you have in your future, I wish you the best. May God bless you and your family, and I pray for, your daughter who passed away, because she was like a daughter to me, and I wish you the best, my brother. And stop sending messages to people. If you want to send a message, I live in the same house. You know where I'm at. Knock on my door. Me and you. Let's talk like men. Stop all this bitch ass shit. Third party messaging shit. You know what I'm saying? Come to my door and let's talk like real niggas. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate you coming in. And again, like I said, you're welcome to come back to Breakfast at Jabot's. It is Breakfast at Jabot's with Gerald Jabot on the Urban City Podcast Network. Man, y'all keep it locked. Log in, like, click, and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Urban City Podcast Group right there on YouTube. Y'all, we'll holler.